Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Cannaspirations. We're going to be doing a 2026 market review. I'm Warren Harris, Chief Compliance Officer at Cannaspire.
And I'm Beck Selman.
Today, we're focusing in on where the next real opportunities are in the US for cannabis licensing. We'll discuss Virginia, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, and Kentucky. What's live now, what's coming, and where entrepreneurs and investors still have opportunities. So today's topic is: where could you actually get a license, partner with a licensee, or position capital heading into 2026? Let's get into it.
All right. The national landscape's looking good. So far to date, 25 states plus DC have legalized adult use cannabis. And we're firmly in what we call a second wave of markets, more structured, more regulated, and more drama. There's an upside, though, if you pick your spots. The states we're covering today fall into a few buckets: new adult use markets rolling out new rules and new license opportunities, medical markets just licensing for the first time, legacy markets with a second round of licensing or corrections after lawsuits, and ballot or bill states where you can't apply yet, but you can prepare. This episode is your guide to where the doors are opening coming into 2026.
So here we have a map representing the landscape that we just described to you. Nebraska will flip that over as soon as the first retail sales begin. You can find this at www.cannaspire.com, and it just gives you a visual representation of this layout that we just described.
So, briefly, our list of adult use stable markets that we're not going to dive into because, uh, everybody's familiar. Prices have pretty much plateaued at their lowest points, and not a lot of opportunities in these states. The medical only markets with no movement, and then the no legal access states where no legal access, or basically no legal access, low THC access only. So,
So let's go ahead and dive into our state spotlights. So Minnesota has been one of our most popular for our clients. It's one of the freshest adult use markets. The Office of Cannabis Management had lotteries for capped license types in June and July, with no cap on micro licenses. So the first adult use dispensaries are open, but there's been a very limited supply of products, which has been making it difficult for retailers. Licensing has ended in Minnesota, but there are licenses for sale. So if you would like to be put into contact with some of these individuals that might have these licenses that they're looking to transfer, maybe they couldn't find real estate, maybe they couldn't raise capital, reach out to Cannaspire. We can help put you in contact with those individuals.
now, New Jersey is expanding in the way that new towns are opting in. Licensing remains open for all license types, but municipalities are still the biggest hurdle. So, as those new municipalities start to change their rules and allow cannabis businesses in, that will open up new opportunities. So it's a high demand, high cost, and high competitive environment with still a lot of underserved areas, and prices are still high, and there's still a lot of opportunity there.
So in New York, a recent federal appeals court decision found that their adult use licensing system gave extra priority for those in state with cannabis convictions, and that this violated the Dormant Commerce Clause. So the translation for you is that the state may have to rethink its licensing criteria, especially residency-based social equity rules. That likely means more litigation, but also potential new or reopened licensing rounds. So the Cannabis Control Board is still slowly issuing licensing for retailers from the November 2023 queue. The December 2023 queue is still on hold. If you're an operator or investor looking at New York, watch closely for new rulemaking around social equity that doesn't depend on residency and be ready for a short, chaotic application window should this litigation break things open and cause them to have to issue new license applications.
Ohio is going backwards. Senate Bill 56 was just signed by the governor in December, and it will be going into effect November of 2026. It officially consolidates the medical and the adult use markets under the authority of the Division of Cannabis Controls. So all operators will have to be dual use cannabis and adult use sales. And it ends the sale of intoxicating hemp, a major blow to the hemp industry in Ohio. It's been reclassified, so it has to be sold in dispensaries, and I imagine that there will be a market for that and some opportunity for in-state hemp growers, hemp producers, uh, to fall in line and produce for those dispensaries. Is capped at 400 dispensaries for the entire state, 8 per entity. Only 186 dispensaries are open so far, so still some room there. And it eliminates the social equity program, caps potency, criminalizes out of state cannabis, new buffer zones for schools, parks, playgrounds, churches, arcades, libraries. But there's still a lot of provisional licensees out there that have not yet converted, and they have 18 months now to convert. So that puts pressure on them to convert, and that brings opportunity to partner with these people that need capital if you want to enter the market in Ohio.
Virginia. So they're currently in a regulatory transition with their new governor. Youngkin had been vetoing these bills for 4 years straight. So now we're finally seeing movement. Currently, adults can possess and grow cannabis, but there's still no legal adult use retail market. Medical dispensaries do exist, but recreational shoppers have been making purchases in the gray market at gifting shops without any lab testing. It has been projected that a regulated retail market could generate close to 300 million over 6 years, and the Cannabis Control Authority may start issuing adult use licenses as early as July 26, with sales targeted for fall of 2026. If a bill doesn't pass, Virginia stays a possession slash home grow state with licensed medical only. So, really, the only opportunity would be ancillary services and partnerships with existing operators, no new adult use licenses. If a retail bill passes, early stage preparation around real estate, supply chain, and license applications will be key to getting these business licenses. So we're already having operators in Virginia reach out to us. We're starting to prepare business plans. We're starting to get the financial projections ready and really aligning their application strategy for if and when that opens up in July. If you're interested in Virginia, please reach out.
Cannabis in Missouri has been legal for adult use, but there's exciting new piece now, microbusiness licensing program. Since 2023, the state has been issuing microbusiness licenses via lottery in 3 rounds. There were 57 issued in the second round alone. But there's drama. Regulators have revoked dozens of microbusiness licenses. At least 25 licenses have been revoked due to compliance issues or concerns about predatory arrangements. This upheaval creates openings for new microbusiness applicants in future rounds or reissuances. A secondary market where struggling microbusiness licenses may look for compliant capital or management partners. So if you're a strong operator, Missouri is a good opportunity to partner and rescue one of these licenses to stabilize it and scale. So good opportunities there.
New Hampshire. So they're flirting with adult use in a very New Hampshire way. In February of 2025, the House passed a bill to legalize adult use cannabis, but without creating a regulated marketplace for cultivation or retail sales. Separately, a commission bill has floated the idea of a state franchise model. The state would control the retail framework, but license private growers manufacturers, and franchise stores, allowing existing medical ATCs to apply and participate. For operators, this is purely a watch list state. If the franchise model passes, the play will be franchise partnerships and supply contracts, not fully independent retail licenses. If the House bill passes without a market, you get demand without legal supply, which mostly benefits illicit operators and cross-border stores. So really stay tuned. We got to see which one of these bills wins in the legislature.
Kentucky started its medical program in January of 2025. The new patient registry is live, and the state has issued 48 dispensary licenses through a lottery. So that's one per county, and two in Louisville and two in Lexington. Now, the state auditor launched an investigation into whether these license lotteries were fair and whether deep out of state pockets were involved in the process. So, short term is Kentucky is potential state to partner and partner acquisition market. Long term, if the auditor pushes reforms, we could see additional new license rounds or altered ownership rules that create new openings.
Nebraska is finally moving from prohibition towards a regulated cannabis market. After voters approved medical measures, the Nebraska Medical Cannabis Commission opened its first cultivator application window in September and offered the very first cultivator licenses back in October of this year. Dispensary and product manufacturer application windows are still to be announced. This is a pure ground floor opportunity. So there are no established cannabis brands in the state. It's a very tightly controlled state with a limited license count, meaning fewer competitors, but much higher regulatory scrutiny. And so, if you like being early and can handle the regulatory risk with slower patient ramp up for a medical state, Nebraska is a classic long-term medical play.
Pennsylvania, they're still medical only, but 2025 has been a busy year for adult use bills. They have proposed a House Bill 20, which would create a fully regulated adult use market with private state licensed businesses and an equity program. Another proposal, Senate Bill 120, would set up a cannabis control board to regulate adult use. When adult use hits, licensing will likely favor operators and existing operators and well prepared newcomers. So if you're interested, it's a good idea to partner with an existing operator or line up in-state partners for that residency requirements and capital, so you're not scrambling when the bill hits if it actually passes. Realistic timing would be late 2026 or early 2027 for conversion of the medical to adult use, and 2027 for new licensees, assuming that they develop a license framework in 2026. So we'll have to wait and see what happens and prepare, but be ready.
Florida. So, Florida is currently the third largest cannabis market in the nation behind Michigan and California, with only medical sales available. So, everyone is watching Smart and Safe Florida to see if they can legalize adult use via a constitutional amendment. The proposed amendment would allow adults 21 and over to possess and purchase cannabis for non-medical use and would give existing MMTCs the right to sell adult use to consumers. Election officials tossed out around 200,000 petition signatures, and courts upheld this decision. So you're already seeing pushback come from the state. What this means for you as a potential investor or operator is if you are already in control or can partner with one of these MMTCs, you're in prime position when this amendment passes for adult use. If you don't partner with one of these existing entities, the realistic near-term play is ancillary businesses, brand licensing, or long-term prep in case future legislation opens up in a non-MMTC system.
So that's it. The summary. In summary, we have our active or imminent licensing rounds: Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, Ohio, Kentucky. High potential for legislative changes or ballots, states with proposed ballots for adult use or medical, or Pennsylvania, Florida, Virginia, New Hampshire. Litigation driven resets, potentially New York could reset and reopen. And then ongoing opportunity, of course, always New Jersey right now. So if you're interested in any of these markets, reach out to us here at Cannaspire and we'll help you assess your best opportunities.
So thanks again for listening to the Cannaspirations podcast. And if you found this breakdown helpful, share it with a partner or team member you'd want to be in a license application bunker with. In future episodes, we'll zoom in on these states and walk through what a realistic application strategy looks like, from entity structure to community benefits. This has been your roadmap to where the next cannabis licenses and opportunities are likely to emerge. See you next time. I'm Warren Harris.
And I'm Beck Selman. We'll see you next
Fine.
time.
See you next time and join us at www.cannaspire.com. Reach out with any inquiries to welcome@cannaspire.com. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.